Hey YouTube, Mickey. Alright, I did a video on the actual pack description and just showing what the packs consists of and this and that. But now I'll show you what I actually put in the pack itself. And again, this is designed for a overnighter to 3-dayer to even a weeker, just depending. So let's start from the top and work our way down to the bottom and the side pockets, okay? So as per the first video, you have this top pocket here. Then in here, I carry the good old SAS Survival Handbook. Some good reading there. I carry a pouch here which contains pencil, 2 pens, a compass, whistle, and Sigma mirror. Okay, right there. And also it's a notepad, okay, with a ruler and a pen. Just an additional pen there, just so I can take some notes out in the field. Got my fire kit handy right here. Close it up. So pretty comprehensive fire kit right there. Keep that easy access. And then I've got my Pentagon poncho, which can double up as a shelter also if need be. Okay, so that's pretty much all that rides in that top pocket there. And there is some decent room in there. I can nearly shove half my arm in there. Okay, so top pocket. Get to the main guts of it, I guess. I'll try and make this quick, fellas and girls. Okay, so let's fold this over. Okay, so on the top, I've got my Ozcam Hoochie. In this here is just my Australian Army mess kit. So it's got one wet fire, box of matches, fork and spoon. Don't want a pink fork and spoon. I stole this from my daughter. And just my Australian Army mess kit. Great cook set. And in there I've got some hexi tabs and stuff like that. So that's that there. And I'll just put it into one of these Pentagon pouches. Okay, it's got my military style neck buff, 1.5 rolls of toilet paper, my gloves, again being Pentagon, great gloves, semi keeps your hands warm, but great protection. In here I've got my knife maintenance pouch. I won't go through this, but if you want me to do a separate video on this, please let me know. But it's got like just my DC4 sharpener, my stropping compound, just some rags, some oil, just all that kind of stuff to maintain your blades. Got my folding saw, being the buck. I've never bought or used a backhoe Laplander. I don't use the saw that often, but I find this buck saw to be pretty good. I've used the backhoe Laplander before. My mate's got one, but yeah, that's all I need. That's fine. It's got a backup blade, again being the buck 192, I think it is. Just a great little knife I've had since I was younger, I guess. Okay, then I've got some pouches here. So in this pouch I've just got I've got these things called lynx hooks. Okay, I've had these for probably over a year, and they're great things to have. They're kind of like a strapping system, but an Oki strap at the same time. And if you buy a whole heap of them, they actually link into each other. So if you can see this, they kind of link in, and it's like Lego. You can build whatever you want with this thing. So I'll keep 2 of those in there, and then just some plastic tent stakes in there. The reason why I've got these pretty much is when I set my hoochie up, if I want to make like a kind of the A-frame, but then have an extended kind of awning over it, I can use these to kind of pull the awning down, and if it gets really windy, you know, there's no chance of my hoochie ripping or anything like that, because it's got some flex with the Oculus straps in there. Okay, in here I've got my what do you call it? Hygiene. So just shaver, shaving cream, you know, soap, foot powder, a mirror, you know, all that kind of stuff, just to keep your hygiene up. In this pouch here, I think it's cordage. Yeah, it is. So in here I've got artificial sinew and just a whole heap of cordage, and also repairs. I've got some cotton thread, needle kit, zip ties and stuff like that. So cordage and repairs, pretty much. Okay, here is my food pouch. Now this is enough for an overnighter. If I'm going to do an extended stay, I would add more food. But yeah, just a simple little food pouch there. Got my, what do you call it? Sea to Summit collapsible plate. Got a very warm vest. It's almost like a sleeping bag. It's got that kind of, you know, that material inside. You know, give it a bit of shake, give it a couple of minutes to puff out, and very, very warm vest. I've got my woolen socks. Obviously that's in there because it's winter now in Australia or in Sydney. Got my Pentagon beanie. Wool gloves, great for keeping your hands warm. Got my tent poles. So I've got my tent poles for my one-man tent. And lastly, in this main section, I've got my my sleep mat. Very, very good sleep mat. I tested it on the weekend. It got to about 2 degrees Celsius, and I had no kind of ground sheet underneath my tent. Had nothing. All I had was this in my tent, and I did not feel the cold at all coming through the floor. So great bit of kit. And then in the sleeve here, where you should put a water bladder, I've got a little grill. Okay, sorry. I just want to pack everything back into the bag because I can be a lazy prick, so if I don't do it now, I won't do it. So, okay. So the side pouches. Pretty much dedicated to medical and water purification. So I've got the Sawyer filter with, I think, the large 2 litre container with transpiration bags in the middle there, and then simply got my first aid kit with snake bite wraps and everything I need for first aid. So it fits nice and neat in that pocket, easy to get to in case of emergency. You know, I don't have to dig through my whole bag to find this stuff, and I do recommend that if you ever, well not if you ever, when you have a bag and you're going out, to always keep your medical gear easy access and not roams through your whole bag trying to find it. Pardon me, I got the flu, so sorry about the sniffles. Okay, so that's in the side pouch there. In the middle pouch, this is dedicated to just my water bottle. Now, depending how far I'm walking or hiking, and depending if there is or is not a water source, if there's no water source, then obviously this bag will be packed with water, a lot more water. There's heaps more room in this pack for me to add some more water. Generally, if I do go hiking 10 kilometres or 5 kilometres in, I'm going to make sure there's water there, because I don't want to be hiking 10, 15 litres of water. That's just stupid. So let's base this pack on me hiking 5, 10 kilometres, carrying 1 litre of water here, maybe another litre of water or 2 litres inside the bag, and then using the Sawyer to filter the water at the camp. Okay, so in here I've just got my GI canteen set up here. So let's see that, yep. So again, this is pretty much my little scout system. If I'm going to walk away from camp to scout around, I want at least 1 litre of water on me. Okay, I want my metal cup to purify water just in case I got stuck out there, and I've got my little stove there. Okay, and then in here, the external pocket, I've got a snake bite wrap, some more transpiration bags, some band-aids, emergency blanket. That's about it. If I'm going for a scout, I would carry a knife on my person, and I'd carry my PSK, my personal survival kit, on my other side of the belt. That way, if I did really get stuck out there, I've got my key items to get me through that scenario. Okay, so that's pretty much all that's in that middle pocket. And then in the side pocket here, I've got some spare batteries. I've got just a little kind of light here. This wind-up light, which is great. This was gifted to me by Emmanuel Mackler. Great friggin' little wind-up torch, man. I haven't even cranked it. It's still shining bright. And I've got my Coleman headlamp here, which has got your red, your blue, your clear, and then your different modes of lighting. And I use this pretty much all weekend on the weekend, and it's still bright as. I don't need to change the batteries. And the batteries I'll take is AAA, because most of my lighting takes AAA. And my GPS, which is not in this bag, takes AAA. So I generally carry AAA and AA batteries. I try to buy electronics that take those batteries. And then I've got my good old solo stove, which I've modified. I've drilled 2 holes into the pot, and I've got this pot hanger just in case I want to hang it over a fire. And I've got my chopsticks. Okay, so I've got my chopsticks and solo stove there. So I'll put this back, and it really fits perfectly in here. The reason why I've got my lighting in this pocket too is because I've just got extra room in here, and you know, I like to access my lighting pretty easily instead of carrying it in the main compartment right up here, which I don't really have much more room up there at the moment. So it fits all good here. And the items I have on the side pouches is probably the items that I want to access the most. I mean, besides the first aid pouch, I would hope I never have to access that. But this pouch and this pouch is the ones I want to access more so. Okay, and then finally, we've got the bottom of the bag, and it is pretty much my sleep system. So my sleep system comprises of these days it's just one 20 litre Sea the Summit dry bag, and in here, and I pretty much shoved it in, is that's my one-man tent, okay, right there. I tried it on the weekend for the first time, and it worked well. It's a Darchi Outdoor Gear Hybrid one-man tent. And then my sleeping bag, which is rated, what brand is this? Quichua? I don't know. I think it's rated for 10 degrees. Does it say anywhere? I don't know, anyway. I think it's rated for 10 degrees or lower. And with the clothing on my person, me inside this, with my sleep mat, I'm pretty warm. Admittedly, I did take like a fleece blanket with me on the weekend, and that kept me really toasty warm. So I would probably, well, I will put a fleece blanket into this dry bag also. And this thing is awesome. That's obviously a water container in itself. It's pretty big. You know, I can compress this down to about that size with these two items in there. Stick another fleece blanket in there, and Bob's your uncle. So, quick video. Well, I hope it was quick. That's the contents of the Pentagon rucksack. I love this thing. It's going to be a great addition to my overnighter to 3-dayer to a weeker system. I've got to the point now with my camp gear, with my survival gear, that I've had so many bags packed with everything, you know, from day bags to smaller day bags that I've converted into overnighter bags, and I've got my good gear in some bags, I've got some other good gear in other bags. I've decided I'm going to put all my good gear into this bag here, which is my overnighter to 3-dayer plus, and then my day bags, which I used to use for an overnighter, is now going to be purposely made for my day packs. That's it. Overnighter plus day bags, purely day bags, and that's it. I've just got to that kind of thinking now, and I prefer all my good gear in this bag, and you know, not my shitter gear, but you know, kind of okay gear in my day packs. And sometimes I'll swap and change, but pretty much this is going to be packed out all the time like this. So if I have to grab and go bush, I don't have to grab stuff off the shelf and go, okay, put this in there, put that in there. No, it's all in here. Just add some food, add some more water, and away I go. So, thanks guys and girls. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll catch you next one.